I don't know why I heard this. I was working on the project. Maybe you have a project that you're working on, or it's gonna be here before you know it. That time, because I was doing this, and then I started to hear that song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So random. Like, I was just doing something completely different. I was not even thinking about that. And the Spirit is telling me, like, you have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose here, right? We are here for a reason. You might meet people. The way that we meet people, there's always there's a reason behind it. I was born into a karmic family, and it has taught me a lot of lessons. I'm on the twin flame journey. It has taught me a lot of lessons. Trauma from the military, trauma from as a child, trauma has led me into circumstances, and people, and different people that I meet. Like, you have contracts with people, soul contracts, karmic contracts, and it's meant to push you into your purpose. All of this is meant to push you into your purpose. Before we come here, before we come here, before we are reincarnated, we are always reincarnated. Like, but before we are incarnated here, we have a soul contract. We go and we have all these things with different people, different souls. We are souls of bodies. So you meet people based on what you've already decided before you came here. But anyway, so you have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose here. That person that you meet today or yesterday, there was a purpose that you met them. There's a reason. There's a reason. You think you're burdened? You think you're stuck? There's a purpose here. I'm being drawn to the angels, so protect yourself. Ground. Okay? You're like very suddenly not wanting to collaborate because of traumas, maybe. You need to make sure that you are in alignment. You need to know, learning psychology to a point where you can decipher if you are sabotaging, and you know what to do in those instances. Sometimes we get hung up on depression and whatever in life, and then something will happen, and you've been through this trauma and that trauma and this trauma and that trauma, and then that old trauma that you never healed starts to critter back and make you second guess what's going on in your reality at this moment. So you need to stay grounded and stay on your path so you're not sabotaging. But we all have a purpose. And so Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. You would even say it glows. They would never let him play in their reindeer games. Keep going, you have a purpose. You feel like there's no hope, you have to keep going, there's a purpose. Self-love, focusing on you. Releasing that. You might be resisting that change, but it's an illusion to keep you depressed. You need to remember taking control, that you have a past life. Your childhood, where you grew up, you have to release that. Whatever traumas that you have, staying in alignment. Christ consciousness, I was talking about this yesterday, staying in alignment with your purpose, staying in alignment with yourself, with your mental health, with your physical needs. But we all have a purpose here. So then Santa came to say, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? And then all the reindeer loved him, and they all shouted out with glee. Rudolph, you'll go down in history. So it's like you have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. And whether it's small or it's large. Ten of Swords reverse. Like, stop thinking about those traumatic things. Stop worrying about it so much. You're repeating a pattern. You're repeating a cycle. You're resisting that change. You're pushed into your awakening by different people. Say that I was traumatized in war, childhood. I went to war. I am a 9/11 veteran. That shit stigmatized me for life. I have to deal with that for life. But when those things come up, I'm reminded with psychology to an extent that now that I am aware that I have to stay grounded. I have to work on that. I have to manage that physical illness that manifested from this psychological one. It's a nerve issue. It's my nerves. And some people will test you. There are karmic people that will try to like drive you insane because they don't have nothing to do and they don't worry about themselves. They're evil. They're getting their karma, so they're miserable, and they want to drag you down so that you're miserable with them. Misery loves company, honey. So if you're meeting people that are trying to trigger you on purpose, they're mentally either not there or they're miserable and want to. They see you elevating and they are mad that they're not doing it. And that person has their own karma that they're trying to deal with, and they want to push it around so that everybody else feels that way. So they're trying to trigger you. They're miserable. Normal people, healthy people, sane people do not go around trying to destroy other people on purpose. Okay, they don't. If they are, just know that there's a reason, that there might be a karmic contract with that person that was meant to trigger you, because that makes you want to stay in alignment. That makes you want to work harder. That makes you want to gut it out. The more everybody fucks with me, the more I want to gut it out. Like, it's, you know what I mean? That was from G.I. Jane. So bring out that inner beast. You know what I mean? Let it free. Remind yourself. What else? Close that cycle. Close that cycle. You know what happened. You've learned. You've learned this. You've learned it. If you haven't learned it, that's the truth. Close the cycle. Don't repeat it. Don't repeat it. It keeps you unfulfilled. It keeps you unfulfilled. It's a prejudice. It's a secret to keep you unfulfilled, and you are protected. You are protected. Your angels have got you. So move on. Keep going. People will push you into your purpose. Little by little, you get there. Building a Mystery by Sarah McLachlan. Listen to those words. You're building a mystery. You don't have any hope? Listen to your inner knowing. Listen to your intuition. You're burdened. You're stuck. Protect yourself spiritually, physically, because there's people that are trying to ground yourself. There's people that are obsessed with you, that have this devil, this, you know what I'm saying? It's an attachment. It's an attachment. It's a contract. And you're meant to recover from it. You're meant to keep going. There's a purpose. You're here for a purpose. Anything else the collective needs to know? Okay, that jumped in. Stand in your power. Be confident. She's magnetic. She's witchy. She's intuitive. She's beautiful. People are drawn to her. She's a boss. Like, be that boss, baby. Plan it. You feel like you've lost something, don't sabotage yourself. That leads you into other things, into that tangent where you're ungrounded and you're repeating a pattern. And yesterday I was talking about that unhealed behavior patterns. If you were traumatized as a child or as an adult, we can get PTSD from everything. I have war PTSD, childhood PTSD, like a lot, okay, trauma my whole life. So you can get it from a car accident if it was traumatic enough. You can get it from getting into a fight with somebody. You watched your parents fighting all the time, even physically or emotionally. The yelling, the drama, being around other people that have been around that, and they are repeating that. They are going through that. They're trying to inflict that. They're trying to talk about it. They're trying to process it. Instead, unless you go to therapy and you journal or you meditate and you work on it and you are aware when you're being triggered and dealing with it properly, then you will keep going off on this little wormhole and this little tangent, going down that rabbit hole. And what does it do? It makes you spiral. And spiraling is rumination. That is overindulging. You start going crazy and you start thinking about all these other things. So staying focused and staying grounded, because you have a purpose, and keep going. So I hope that helps somebody. But yeah, I've been through a lot. Karmic family trying to sabotage me, people bullying me for being gay, trying to sabotage me. Everybody thinks that I do have it so wonderfully, so they always try to sabotage. the more everybody with me, I want to get it out.